Five.
Alright.
Cool.
I'm going to volume up you. Oh.
What's interesting is it has like this current call box.
Where?
There we go. Much better. Alright. I'm in the top right. I'll be small today. That's fine. You can be small next week.
I'll be small next week. I can be small. I don't care. I'm always small.
Yeah,
Difference between small and petty.
Dude, I'm all chilled out. I'm all sore and shit, recovering with from my accident.
Oh yeah, fuck. What happened there? What were you doing?
Working on my phone.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't. You can't do that here. That's illegal.
It's illegal here too, but it was an emergency. Somebody was click bombing our page, and I was like, change the fucking page, and they were like, how do you do that? So I was like,
oh yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
You can just say hold on and pull over safely to the side of the road.
I should have, but I was late for a wedding. I had 20 minutes to get to a wedding that was 30 minutes away, and the wedding started like in 20 minutes. So I was like in a hurry.
I got you. I can respect that. And then how long was the delay though because of the accident?
Harsh volume, guys. Hang on, I'm fixing it.
I got you. I can respect that. How long was the delay though because of the accident?
Alright, talk, Bill. Let me hear you talk.
Alright, I'm talking now. I'm saying things that, you know, I'm going to just shut this off there. There we go. Now I can be part of the live. How's that?
I think it's fine.
Am I acceptably limited? Bill does rhyme and chill.
I think we're good.
That's cool. That's what works.
Yeah, so everybody, welcome to the Marketing Hour. Today we're going to talk about the problem with coaching. Hey?
Hey?
Yeah, sorry. Before we begin, sorry we didn't do a fucking, gosh, man, a call from Vegas last week. We couldn't get the internet to work.
Yeah, it was brutal Wi-Fi.
It really was. It was like laggy. Like we had set everything up. We were trying to get it to work. It wasn't happening. Like we tried from like 8 different places in the hotel room. Nothing worked. It was miserable. We tried from the hotel room, the hotel lobby, like all over the hotel. Multiple networks could not get the show to work. So we weren't able to do it live, but we could potentially talk about some of the stuff we learned there. So we'll get to that later. But otherwise, welcome to today's episode of The Marketing Hour. Brought to you by American Spirit, the cigarettes that Ronald Reagan smoked.
We forgot to get our sponsor on. We'll have to do that for the next one.
That's okay. I'll get them all. E. Brian Rose is here. Hello, E. Brian Rose.
We got
Ian G. Keyworth. Bill was louder than Steve. That's all. Matthew says, "Yeah, I always have bad Wi-Fi at the poker tables. I can't be that quiet. Come on."
I hear you loud and clear.
Let's see. Let's see here.
That's all.
No, I'm not quiet.
I think you sound good.
Yeah, I always have bad Wi-Fi. Yeah, everything's fine. We're gonna fucking just roll with it. What up, Brian Rose? That was a sick speech you gave, so I heard. I wasn't able to make it because I had too much to drink the night before. But yeah, guys, Brian Rose gave a speech in Vegas about he's got a webinar platform coming up on JVZoo, so look out for that. It's going to be great.
So excited about that.
Yeah, I can't
wait.
I really can't wait for it. Anyway, so today we wanted to talk about the problem with coaching, and I'm going to let Bill start it out because this was Bill's idea, and I was drunk when I gave my speech too, Brian. Don't worry. Anyway, because there is a problem with coaching in the industry, right? You have the scamming coaches, you have the coaches that severely undervalue everything, and then you have the good coaches that are actually trying to help people. So, Bill, I'll let you take it away and kind of start the conversation off and put it in the direction that you wanna take it.
All right. So for me, I mean, you touched on one of them, and we'll get to that, but one of the problems that we have is we're in a big industry where everyone thinks that everything's a scam, and there's very little that's actually put on the customer, and it's pretty tough for customers to equate any sort of actual numerical value to put on coaching because there's such a variety of price points, and the value delivery appears to be the same. And then you've got guys that are running regularly $9.97. They're offering lifetime access to themselves, which, first of all, if you're offering lifetime access for a really low rate or any rate at all, what you're telling your customers is, look, it doesn't matter if you get started now or in a week or in a month or in 6 months or 6 years. It doesn't really matter because you can come through and you can start whenever the hell you want. I know because I offered that. I saw, I think EBR did the post about you can't actually offer lifetime. Maybe it was Brad Goss. Somebody offered that, but that was a mistake that I made, and the value just sucked. Like, just for time-wise and dollar-wise, what I had to do and what I had to offer. And then you got the other thing where people are offering basically information products that you could probably get for $27, and they're offering them for $297, $397, $197 as a coaching program. A coaching program usually entails some degree of actual interaction with a coach of some kind. A product itself, that's like some PDFs or a couple videos, I don't know that that's particularly a coaching program. And the pricing of it, guys, price your coaching program so people have to put something into it. If it's something they can spend in a weekend, they're not going to have any value on that. I'm not saying, if you have a shitty program and you're offering nothing at all, you should charge through the moon. But if you find value in what you're offering, don't be afraid to actually ask people to put up some serious fucking dollars for this thing, because they're the ones that actually need to do something. And I remember my first coaching program that I paid $5K to be a part of. I don't even think I particularly enjoyed the coaching program, but inside there was no way in hell I was going to be the guy that borrowed money from a family friend to get into a coaching program and then not be able to pay that back with the income I was supposed to make that I learned from the coaching program, if that makes sense. My biggest pet peeve is just that when you price it so low, and people are under the impression they get so much, now they have the expectation that a good coach is going to cost them this much. And then when they don't get anything from that because they don't value the purchase, they didn't see any time with you, they run around and they're pissed off about coaching programs and every coach is a scam and typical I am bullshit or anything else that you're doing. You've got to find a happy medium where you put your time frame and you value it, and you also charge the customer something that's going to sting and involve them a little bit with some sort of emotional commitment and attachment.
Absolutely.
So that's my deal. It pisses me off to see really low price coaching programs or programs that aren't coaching programs being sold as coaching programs.
Yeah, no, I think you are absolutely right. For me, the biggest problem, we agree. I agree with everything you pretty much said. The biggest problem I have with coaching at the moment in the industry, besides some of the low price bullshit out there, is the coaches who will take your money and then not actually deliver value, but they'll take your money in a way that you can't get it back. So they'll make you Western Union or some shit. However they do it, I don't know. But I just recently, just a couple weeks ago, one of my subscribers actually messaged me and said, "Hey, I paid a certain person $5,000 for coaching. It's been 6 months. He hasn't delivered. I asked for a refund. He said he'd give it. It's been 3 months since I asked for a refund." I tagged him on Facebook.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Dude got his refund 3 days later. So
that I see. No, but and there's the other thing too. I mean, good price. I honestly think that's a decent price point. What are you offering? I mean, I don't know. And good for you for getting involved. You probably got all the information and the facts and stuff like that. But that's the other thing that I worry about is how are people actually being sold into this? What type of promises are being delivered? And if you're delivering your end of the promises, but people aren't seeing the push button riches, that's a mindset problem to me, right? And there are a lot of customers like that. I mean, sure, this guy was probably in his right. I had a chat with him as well. But, I mean, some people just think that they're going to get rich because they gave you the money and that there's no work involved. So that comes, again, to what promises are you delivering? What can you deliver?
Right.
You know?
Right. Absolutely.
And how does the customer perceive that? And one of those things is, I talked about this a lot on my sales call or when I went to speak in Ireland, and I tell people this all the time. A phone pitch doesn't need to be like this crazy, fucking drawn-out, hour-long, 2-hour, 3-hour thing. In fact, my conversions were pretty good. Between 30 and 50% of the people I got on the phone with, and a few of those people were people that I wouldn't accept anyways. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be this like manipulative process. They're already there. They fill out an application and talk to you. They're at that point. It can be a very simple discussion of, hey, look, we're going to have a quick call here. There's going to be a yes or no answer on your end required at the end. But before that, I'm just going to qualify you and make sure that this is going to be a good fit for you. If it is, you got a choice to make. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
And then start working with a good sales process. And if you do that, it's not manipulating. I never had one refund request in 2.5 years using that model, ever. Because people knew what they were getting and they had to make a choice. Now, some days they had to go talk to their wife or they had to think about it or they had to go put funds together. But they were buying because they were excited about what could potentially happen and that I was straightforward with what to expect. And then when they get in there, there's no like, holy shit, this is not what I was promised.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I recently heard about a coaching program and checked it out. And, you know, the guy was trying to get me to sell it to my list. And I said, sure, can I check it out? And he said, sure. And he gave me access to it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't coaching. Like, what? This has nothing to do with coaching. I mean, what the, like, this is, what? I want to, Brett Uteki makes a nice comment. He says, customers in this business expect a lot for a low price, and that is largely due to marketers constantly underselling themselves. And this is a big fact, like absolutely true. You know, the difference between your ability to sell a course at, I don't know, $7 and $67 is confidence, and the difference between selling a course at or coaching at $2,500 or $5,000 or $300 or whatever, again, is confidence. You know, I never thought people would pay me $5,000 until I asked them to, and they did. You know, and that's because I had the confidence to know that I was going to deliver. And so, yeah, I think Brett's right. There is a problem with coaches undervaluing themselves, but that also causes problems with the customer because then they expect a lot for the little. And then you come out with something and you say, look, you got to pay me $5,000 if you want this. And they're like, well, what? This other guy only wants $300. Well, it's like, well, the other guy isn't going to teach you, you know, as much as I'm going to teach you. And if you give me $5,000, you're getting me. You know, you're getting my phone number. You're getting my instant access to me on Facebook. We're going to work together. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make sure you succeed, and I'm going to guarantee your results. You know, that's how I do my coaching. You know, and it sells itself. You know, and kind of like you had talked about with your pitching. You know, I do the same thing. You know, I have turned down 6 or 7 potential clients because I felt like I couldn't help them. You know, I was like, or I just didn't like them. You know, but
that's a big one, man, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things that ties into, sorry to cut you off, but one of the things that ties into the whole undervaluing is sometimes it's not so much confidence, and I try to stress this to people that want to be coaches. Coaching isn't about you making money. Like, coaching should be first and foremost about believing that you have something of value to offer people and offering people that service for a hopefully desired outcome. It's not because, you know what, this guy says to add it here, like the Zoo's now offering automated webinars. You want to make extra fucking money on your launches or on your affiliate marketing list? Go run some of those. Don't open a coaching program that's undervalued, selling your entire soul for peanuts because you need extra money. There's other webinars out there to do it. You sell a coaching program to make really good dollar for your time, but also deliver something that's going to help somebody in the end. If you just want to make some extra money and give somebody a good product, get on one of those webinars, but don't open up the doors to a coaching program because you're going to make like $500 this sale. And trust me, I learned the hard way, man. I sold like 6 months for $500 when I first started. What? I didn't know any better. And honestly, the model I was following at the time was, well, this is how you make your next step of money. Yeah. And so I made it, and I just burnt myself out trying to get these client stuff because I realized when I took the money in, holy shit, I owe you my time now.
Yeah.
And then I had to help them get the results. But like the problem is selling yourself short, but also realizing that it's not just about money in the coaching. It's a fair exchange, in my opinion. That's what it should be.
Welcome, Art Flair. Welcome, Michael Thomas. Stefan Ciancio. I'm just messing with you, buddy. Stefan Ciancio says, when I think coaching, I think curriculum, homework. Customers should be asking the coach what's included specifically. What are we doing every week? What's required of me, etc. It seems most people go into coaching and say, I paid this guy, so somehow the money is just going to come, and then don't look into it enough. Bad coaches bank off of knowing that, and knowing that people will just hand them money based off that gamble. And then Philip Blackwell says, when you sell a 10K coaching package to someone who can afford it, you have less problems than selling a $500 package to someone who can't. In fact, I sold a 10K package with a partner once, and we delivered about 10. So that's pretty awesome, man. You know, like, I charge at the moment, well, before I spoke, and I mean, you guys already missed out. For my coaching, I charge $5K for that. Now that I'm, more branded and I've now spoken at an event, technically my coaching could be sold for more, but at the very minimum, I do $5K, unless I'm running like a special. Like sometimes I'll run a special and I'll say, look, you get it for $4K or whatever. But you're right. Like the reason I charge so much is because it takes so much of my time. I mean, I was on vacation, not doing any work, but the only work I was doing was with students. You know what I mean? Because I owe that to them. Now, if you had paid me $500, I wouldn't give a shit about you. Like $500, I'm not going to come on a Skype call with you every goddamn day and help you out. You pay me $5,000, I'll do whatever it takes. That's what you get. You got to manage expectations. You got to sell yourself, but most importantly, you don't need to run a coaching program about teaching people how to coach. And I just want to bring that up because I've seen that a few times, and that makes me a little angry. Unless you're Frank Kern. Frank Kern is one of the few people who can genuinely say, I will teach you how to coach people, because he's marketing to people like us, whereas we're marketing to newbies, people who don't know internet marketing. So it's a bit different. But yeah, man, coaching in this industry is in such a weird space. It's you got the low end people who undersell themselves and then generally under deliver. You got the high end people who pretend to be high end and then take your money and run, and then you got the actual coaches who actually try to coach. What do you think, though? In your opinion, what's better? Group coaching, right? Or one-on-one coaching? I would like to talk about that for a second.
I like a mixed breed. it also depends on volume of intake at a time. So if you're going to take 1 or 2 clients at a time here and there, then one-on-one is fantastic. They've got some content that they can go through. You guys can work through and map out calls and do things like that. And you can still do a weekly webinar for the clients. If you're talking about mass intake or like a significant volume, probably more than you can handle on a day-to-day basis and an hourly basis, then you probably want to run a group coaching program. I have tons of success with that, and we're constantly bringing people in, like day after day, week after week, slow it down, month after month. You're bringing in people, but if you're doing mass groups of people, you want to run that in a group coaching session. But if you're only doing a couple here and there, I think it builds on, I think structure, discipline, homework, lists, and relationship, I think, is built a lot stronger when you're doing the one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
That said, I mean, you're going to get results either way, and I just want to talk about that quickly, about that difference between someone who can't afford it and then someone who can. Well, oftentimes people who can afford it will also devalue money. So one of the things that I always look for, and I'll be flexible on payments, is the person who has a desire that reminds me of me when I was in those shoes. Because you can't always use numerical value as a determining factor as to whether someone else is going to get value out of your coaching program. It's the person that's there and the commitment they show in certain ways. And I mean, many of my clients who are out there right now, got launches in a couple days, came to me dirt broke and fucked up. We made some payment plans and worked with them to get them in, and now they're like, they've surpassed what I expect out of what I do. And it's all because they had that desire. So I think that's one of those key things when you're doing the intake process too, is not necessarily how much can I get out of that pocket now. How can I work with this person to get them to where they want to go so that it benefits both of us in the long run?
Travis Morgan says, good point, by the way. Travis Morgan says, people pay colleges 5 figures and don't think twice about it for the education they get. And there's no guarantee of any sort of income. Right? Yep. So this kind of goes back to the undervaluing thing. You know, the people who sell coaching for really stupidly cheap, you know, like if you believe that you can truly help someone, you need to charge a reasonable price for it, you know, not for not just for your sake. I mean, you're going to make more money, right? But I guarantee you, if you sell 10 one-on-one coaching packages for $300, you're going to be burned out and never want to do it again. But if
you're going to be really happy on day one.
Yeah.
You're going to be so happy that first day because you're just flush. And you're like, wow, this is more than I made today. And then you're going to be really burnt out.
And then what happens is you burn out, right? And then those people who paid you are upset. They feel like they're not getting the value they thought. Now you're under-delivering. Now that's affecting your reputation, and now it's making it harder for you to get clients in the future, as well as making customers distrust coaches as a whole, when, you know, not all coaches are bad. Glenn Shepard says, our job isn't or shouldn't be to make money. Our job at hand is to give the best value and tutoring to the customer that we can. The money is the nice result of doing our job well. Yeah, I agree with that.
Nice way to put it.
I like that. Welcome Joel Thrash. Welcome my wife, Amelia Marie Gilbert. Welcome Brian Biernat. And welcome Han Fan. Brett Rutecki comments in and says, people pay a lawyer or a doctor hundreds of dollars an hour, but scoff at paying marketers that amount. The funny thing is, many marketers make more money from their knowledge than many lawyers or doctors. That's actually funny you say that, Brett. I was going to school to be a doctor because I wanted to make the money that doctors made, right? And I knew I would have great job security. But while I was in school, I was also working 40 hours a week, you know, doing the typical, you know, work my ass off, do everything you got to do. I got laid off, right? But I still had these bills to pay. I was in over my head. And then I started IM. And then I started making money. And then I started making a lot of money. And I was like, you know what? I'm now making more money than lawyers and doctors do. Why am I still in college to become a doctor? Because I never wanted to be a doctor to help people or save lives. I wanted to be a doctor to get that fat $250,000, $500,000 a year paycheck. Good thing I didn't didn't continue down that path, because they're getting absolutely fucked by Obamacare now.
I want to comment on that statement, because it's actually, I think, the second time that type of subject has come up. But it's part of the societal construct, right? When you look at what we're doing and the information that we can share, society as a whole is going to tell you that what we're teaching, what we're offering, is a scam, and they're going to tell you that the right way to do things, thank goodness we're starting to see a bit of a shift in mindset, the right way to do that is to go to school, get that debt. Now, people believe that, they buy into that, and we have to continuously fight that concept, that belief that's already ingrained in everybody that's coming to us. They understand that there's a separation, but remember that no matter what, no matter how much they love you, their programmed belief is checking out that video or that infomercial at 3 a.m. 10 years ago and hearing all the bad shit surrounding everything that's not part of the traditional educational and employment structure. So they're believing, and they're pre-programmed to believe that what you're doing is bullshit. So the dollar value and the arm twisting that we have to do, compared to schools that have had hundreds and hundreds of years to just hold their hands out and take your money, it's going to be a little bit of a rough ride, because people don't quite get that value exchange. I mean, I wish that everybody was logical and intelligent and you could explain to them why buying a house in a housing bubble is a bad idea, but you can't, because to them they've been told that you need to buy a house and hold on to it forever. Even though you're buying it overvalued, you're going to lose like 20 to 30% when it pops, and you're going to hold that thing for your life. To them, that's a good idea. So we have a lot of preconditioning to deal with when people come to us. So sometimes we think about our customers from only the perspective of I am and what we know, but think about it coming fresh in. These people aren't trained the same way we are. We haven't seen this. When I first came here, I wasn't coming to build a business or learn about investments. I was coming because I wanted some money, and I needed some money. And this thing's a scam, but I'm going to make it work anyways.
Stefan Ciencio says, it's funny, in our industry we say coaching, but really it's business consulting. IM is a business. There's plenty of consultants in all types of business. That's just an interesting thing to think about. And he continues to say, I think treating your coaching business like a real business goes a long way. That includes the curriculum, managing expectations, etc. And good point, Stefan. I agree with you. Carl Pico. Hey, Carl, buddy. By the way, wanted to say, sorry I missed your call. We had a call today that we planned in Vegas. When I set it in my calendar, Carl, for 3 p.m., it set it on Pacific time instead of the correct time. So that's why we missed the call. And I ended up having a webinar at that exact time. So, we missed it. But first of all, I want to say welcome to Scott White, and welcome to Tom Yevzikov, welcome to Kyle Custis, and welcome to Josh Baldock. We are glad y'all are here. Carl says, I was badly burned by a coach for $2K when I started out. He took the last bit of money my 74-year-old mother had. I never trusted one again after that. Coaches need to be able to deliver what they promise, or they ruin it for the whole industry.
You know what? Time out. Because I was burnt by a coach too, and we were struggling, and the government had seized everything, and I could barely afford it. If you hold on to past resentments from one douchebag and allow yourself to not continue to grow or pursue other opportunities, then you are living in a story that is condemning you to failure in the business. I'm not saying what that guy did was okay. I'm not saying that should ever happen, but what I'm saying is that human beings, we have an opportunity to look at something and allow it to direct us through life, or we have the opportunity to look at something and find a new way around it. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a hard time. Trust me, dude, I get it. But I think that far too many people get stuck in that exact thought process and then believe that all coaches are bullshit. Well, if you do that, and you hear everyone say, well, you got to get a mentor, that's what I did, then you're holding yourself back from a potential opportunity. I mean, in my lifetime, I think I've thrown away $5,000 on a lot worse thing than a shot in the dark and some shitty coach in IM. I get what you're saying, and I think it's douche, and that's why Steven's got the group that he's got now, and it's a good thing. That said, I think that we all need to take some personal responsibility about the story we allow ourselves to live when something like that happens to us.
I would say that if you are thinking about getting a coach, all right, that you need to, before you jump right in, right? But like if you get, pitched on a coaching offer, before you jump right in, you need to do your research. You need to ask around everyone you know that could possibly have a connection to this person. You need to ask it in Skype groups. You need to ask on Facebook. Ask people what their experiences are. Do some research. Google their name along with Ripoff Report. See what comes up, because if there's a coach that has a habit of taking people's money and disappearing, there's probably something on Ripoff Report about it, and it'll pop up, Thankfully, I'm not on Ripoff Report yet, but I'm planning on it. No, just
I have one. I don't know how to get rid of it. However,
you gotta pay them.
Came on and said I overreacted, and I had an outpouring of clients coming in to say this is ridiculous, and there was a screenshot and all that stuff. I added all the proof. I since killed the page.
Home run, baby.
I've got them. It happens.
Yeah, but yeah. It happens. Let's see. Jesse Winterholt says, my wife's paid what? Can you turn that TV off, or is it on purpose?
No, I forgot to turn it off.
Big span. My wife paid well over $25,000 for her master's in education without blinking because that is completely acceptable and viewed as normal in society. So when one decided to go and explore other options, society viewed many alternative educations as simply not valuable. Bill Hugo nailed it because society sees no value in the back end of marketing in general. Yeah, the fact of the matter is colleges are just much better marketers than us.
They have the backing of the federal government.
That too. People won't take out a loan for IM, but they'll take out a loan for college, right?
That they can't violate, like they can't lose.
They can't
remove.
Yeah, it's great.
Like they can't get out of it.
Continuing on that Carl part, though, Stefan says, Carl, I'm sorry to hear that happened. I think the important lesson learned for you should be what went wrong. Did he not deliver on what he promised? Did you check with him what was promised to begin with? Next time you will know. Check what the curriculum is. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. You got to do your research. Now, it's not. I don't think Carl was playing the victim. That's not what I got from that at all. I
get what he's saying though. It's a tough love statement, and it hurts, and it kind of sounds it sounds like it's an aggressive quote. But I'm one of those coaches who's straight up with you and says things that are a bit more aggressive. So I get exactly what he's saying in the fact that if something bad happens to you and you keep that as a reason to not grow, then you are in fact being a victim. I've read some of the comments since, and I get what Carl's saying, but bottom line is if an experience allows you and prevents you from growing any further in the future, that's victim. Any self-help guru from way back in the day, the Dalai Lama will tell you that. You got to let it go and move forward, otherwise you're being trapped in a moment. Yeah. And that's just, I don't think he was being an aggressive when he says victim's a bad word. It's like, it's aggressive. But I think he was just saying like that mindset isn't going to help you progress in your life. Because I watched the context of the comment there.
I got you. Carl, that thing you're worried about, go to my website, soulweb.org, and join my group, and let's talk about it in the group, and see what can be done. You'll see an ad for it in the top right to go to my Facebook group, because I'd like to find out who this guy is. Michael Thomas says, just a note, it's worth asking privately. You may get a different answer than you would if you ask in a public forum like Facebook. Absolutely. When you're doing your research, ask people privately. Welcome, Mario Brown. It was good seeing you in Vegas, buddy.
Yes, it was. Pleasure to meet you.
Josh Baldock says, yes, I agree, Bill. I was burned by a coach for 2K in the early days and he took every last dime I had, but I worked like hard to make some more cash to invest elsewhere. Yes, I've been caught out again, but luckily with the help of you guys and others, I'm still working like hell to make this happen. Good job, Josh. Good job. Looks like a lot of people liked what you said, Billy Bob.
Mr. Zimmerman, the retired guitar player. What's happening, buddy? Long time no see. It's good times.
Zimmerman's in here?
That's what I saw, yeah.
Did I miss it?
It says Brian Zimmerman is watching.
Oh, man, didn't pop up on my feed. But, like, it's, my neighbor's kids are outside, if you hear that. It's, coaching is cool if you do it the right way. I don't know. What else should we say about coaching?
I don't know, man. I think I think we've said it all. I mean, there's two ends to it. If this day, I mean, I remember when I first looked at coaching, we had the Warrior Forum to like research on and some Google. I think with social media being what it is, you're probably attached to 2 or 3 people who have an intimate knowledge of the person you're researching these days. So to go out and ask, I mean, if someone comes talks to me about Steven and his email marketing, I mean, I'm going to be like, hey, like, I know Steven's the shit because he sends like 250 sales per fucking promo, and that's just when he farts. And then for other people, he's gone out and he's shown other people how to do the same thing. I know because I know these people as well. So I think with social media, you have the opportunity to investigate in a far more advanced way than you have before. And in my opinion, a good sales guy or a good coach isn't going to try and close you. He's going to let you go out and do some due diligence. Oh, yeah. Some of my best clients were people that would be like, you know what? I need a couple days to talk to the wife, go and look you up and do some research, and then they come back and they get started. So I think you have a good opportunity in this day and age to pick right. Just don't make the decision on the phone call.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. And my coaching, for pitching is the same way. It's, I look at if I can help you, and if I can't, I tell you. But then I'm not going to pressure you to buy it. If you want to buy it, you're going to buy it. Because I've got the testimonials, I've got the proof. I've got people backing me up, saying, "Look, I bought his coaching; it was great." So good coaches tend to not be hard sellers. They tend to be kind of, let's see, what kind of problems are you having? Let me see if I can fix it. If I can, let's see, what kind of payment we can arrange. That's good. That's probably a good sign. I would think. But I don't know. So coaching. The problem with coaching. Oh, gotta plug my laptop back in here. But as someone did mention earlier, when you do get burned by a coach, it's the same. It's just the same as getting burned, when you buy a product from an internet marketer. You're going to think internet marketing is all bad and coaching is all bad. Humans are very, very, very apt to have one bad experience with one thing and assume that everything is bad. It's.
Could you imagine back in the day when the first guy comes up with fire and he's sitting there and he's got this fire and he's like, "Hey guy, how'd you do that? Could you teach me how to do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just got to take a stick and you just got to rub it together." And then the other guy just goes and goes and goes and it doesn't work. And he's like, "What a scam this is." And then he walks away for another week, sees the guy's fire. And he keeps trying and keeps trying. And then finally the guy actually shows him how to set fire. And he believes that you can make fire with a stick. It's just the same kind of process. And it's been mentioned again about school. But how many people have degrees and are serving tables because it didn't work? I mean, it's just, are you going to stick through all that adversity? The guy who did Starbucks, Howard, what's-his-face, he was told no 1,500 times. There's a little bit of work you got to do, and it's going to suck. And, a coach can help alleviate some of that, but if at the end of the day, you can't get your ass off Facebook and apply the information that the coach is teaching you, that's not his problem. That's your problem. It's discipline. And it's going to take a little bit of time to get going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do whatever I can, for my students to make sure they succeed, because I guarantee the results, like I've had a couple students where they've had trouble, and I've gone back and been like, it's been a year out, since the coaching actually ended, and I'll take a call with them and catch them back up to speed and figure out what they're doing wrong, kind of like a doctor. Don't know why I brought that up, but it's just a thought that occurred to me. Let's see. Jesse Winterholt says, I also want to point out, this isn't just an IM issue. You see this coaching bullshit in the MMA world. Guys that claim they're black belts in sports coaching. It happens in music. So again, it's not just in the IM. I personally was burnt by a fake jiu-jitsu coach in Brazil. It happens. Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's funny that he says that, because last night I was going to take a picture of the TV because I saw this ad, and it made a totally false claim about how good your life could be if this product was part of it. And it was, I don't know, it was like, it wasn't, like there's no chance that this product could actually make your life better. You might feel gratified for buying it. But we got groups for IM guys, but you've got like Bounty out there telling you that you're going to feel a lot better because you use their fabric sheet in the dryer. I mean, it's everywhere you go, you're inundated with stuff, and it's just your ability to decide whether or not you're going to get something out of it, or you're going to stop there. Like, oh shit, Bounty did not change my life. I am never using a dryer sheet again. Yeah. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Now, would you say that IM has a higher rate of bad coaches? Nope. Or would you say it's an equal rate of bad? Because I would personally feel like IM probably has a higher rate of bad coaches. That's how, just as a gut feeling. Obviously, I don't have any data to back this up. But, I've heard a lot more horror stories. But then again, people don't always talk about when they're doing well either. So, but, I do kind of tend to feel, over the years, I've heard a lot more horror stories about coaches in the internet.
Yeah, but what's your primary focus? I can tell you right now that if I were to take some of the customers' mindsets right now and not take my children's brain and ability to absorb information into account, I'd say there's a lot of scam teachers out there. Not because they're bad teachers, just because they don't work correctly with my kid as a student.
Yeah, but
I just think it's where your attention is, because there's a lot of people shitting on teachers and calling them out for stuff. I just think that our perception is this bubble, this microorganism of internet marketing that we live in. I don't think it's necessarily just predominant here, because we're such a small part of the world. I think it's a big issue all over the place, and I think it's a tough balance for everyone.
I just noticed on the back on the whiteboard.
You see that?
Dude, thanks.
You remember that late night interview we did for, I think it was Poolside Profits?
Yeah.
I wrote it up there, and you just saw it now, like 2 months later.
Wow.
Awesome. Shows you how much I use my whiteboard.
It also shows you how unaware I was. I didn't even notice. That's great. Oh, man. Mechanics and doctors rip people off all the time. And Travis Morgan says Bounty changed his life. And welcome to Carl Schukert. Glad you're here, buddy.
Eric D. Stafford, this ass kicking will commence in 20 minutes.
Well, we've got 17 minutes left. Maybe we could take a caller or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we can. My kids are going to burst in the door here at some point and start making all kinds of fucking noise. So we may as well do it.
They'll be all. We'll ask little Timmy about what he thinks about.
Well, I don't have little. If little Timmy walks in my door, my wife kidnapped someone today, and that's not a good idea.
Hey, Carl. Would anybody like to call in and say something about coaching? Anything at all? Nothing is off limits here at the fucking marketing hour.
Fucking fuckity fuck.
John Shea says, "Oh me." Wait, didn't we take you last time, John? Didn't we take John Shea last time? I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did. We took somebody.
Stefan says,
Stefan would
"Come on." All right, let's do this. We'll take you both. Both of you
Let's
right
do it.
now. Send me a message on Skype, okay? Stefan, we'll let you both in. So hang on. I'm putting my Skype name in chat. Add me to Skype, and then I'll add you to the call. Stefan, are you on Skype? I'm gonna add you in right now.
Trying to take a picture of the marketing hour live. Booth, Gilbert, and Lucky Strike or American Spirit or whatever the hell that shit is. You are forever immortalized.
No, John, I need you to add me on Skype. Stefan and I, we should be friends on Skype.
Oh man, you guys are falling off the rails over here. Oh, I see what happened just there.
No, John, I'm not gonna add you. Ugh. Hang on, let's see if I can add him this way.
You know what, Carl? Man, you gotta come in Steven's group and let us know who this cat is so that we can talk about it. We got Eric Lovelace is in the house now.
All right. I think I've added John. Now I gotta add Stefan. Stefan, send me a message, Stefan. Like, what the hell's going on Skype here, man?
We're just gonna load it down with as much as we possibly can because it's Skype.
What's going on, guys?
Man? How you doing?
Happening, my man. The Blue Room is back. The Blue Room is back.
It's a little bit better than Google Hangout, huh?
Oh, man, did I sound much better this time?
Yeah, it's coming through way better.
Okay, we found the winning solution.
I'm surprised it's still bad. I used to run a podcast for 2 years, and I used Google Hangout, and I'm just surprised that it's still like that.
Really? See, great. Remember when it came out, like, I don't know what it was, Webinar Jam or something like that, it was a Phil Same product. I couldn't use them because of the delay. And I'm all about engaging in my webinars. And it's like, okay, everybody put ones in the chat box. I'd wait for 15 seconds and they'd start piling in. It was just like...
Kill you.
Yeah, you go to share something. I just never been a fan. They're great for ranking, but as far as like application and quick real-time conversation, I've never been a fan. Stefan's in the house.
What's up, Stefan?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, guys.
Good.
So, say your piece. What's up, y'all?
Having a good day. I'm beating you on Warrior Plus.
Are you? For what? I'm not promoting anything.
Yeah, no, I got deal of the day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, congrats, John. That's pretty good.
Yeah. My first launch there, too.
Did you do that with Paul James?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, right. Congratulations.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Stefan,
yeah, it's solid.
What do you think about, what did you want to say, bud?
Me or John?
Stefan.
Well, I mean, I guess if we're going to be talking about coaching, I mean, you guys, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head on a lot of this stuff. I mean, look, back when I started in 2014, it's the same story I think everyone has. Like, I had the same thing. I paid a guy $2K. I never looked into it. I was like, oh, cool, this guy's going to... I almost thought like he was doing me a favor. Like, oh, wow, this guy decided to take me on for $2K, and he's going to teach me a bunch of stuff. I didn't even ask him what we were really going to be doing. I just was like, oh, I got to get this $2K to him immediately so that I could, start getting results. It was mainly because I was like, oh, I got to prove all my friends wrong. They think I'm nuts trying to make money online. I had that whole story pretty bad as far as like the coworkers and the friends who thought I was nuts. And, I think everyone has it to an extent. But I just wanted to pay him that $2K because it was almost like it was appealing to my emotions. And I mean, we know that better than anyone, that when you appeal to someone's emotions, you get them to take out their wallet. So, I was there. I get it. I get the whole, there's coaches out there that are bad coaches. I even wrote a post a long time ago about it because I was just so angry about it, like how to avoid the phony coaches. I think I called it or something. But, it really comes down to playing at both sides. And, as a customer, you have some responsibility to decide who are you handing money to over the internet. Like, who is this person that's saying they're going to help you for $2,000 to $5,000 to change your life? Are they sitting in their mom's basement in their underwear? Like what? There's something that you have to consider there. You have to be a little bit of a detective. Make sure that you're making a good deal there. It's like if you see someone on the street and they say they're a doctor and like, oh, they're going to heal you. You don't do that. You go to someone who has some sort of credentials as a doctor. So same with IM. Obviously, the way we get our credentials is a little different, but you got to do some digging there to make sure that the person you're hiring has a track record of results that can really help you and then really tailor it to what you need. That's just how I look at it. And I think you guys pretty much already said all that and just kind of hit the nail on the head on the whole thing.
Hey, Delilah.
So.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's a two-way street here. It's the two problems or the three problems I see when it comes to coaching at the moment are people who are selling coaching for way too little and undervaluing it, which ruins it for others or maybe burns the customer if the content isn't good. Part of the fault is with the customers not completely doing their research and kind of like you said, getting that dopamine rush. Like just the fact that they bought something to them is a step that it's just, I'm doing the right thing. It's a step in the right direction. And then the third part is you got the customers who actually just take the money and run. So I think that's the three main problems I see with it. How do you fix that? I don't know. But really, the best thing anyone can do if you're thinking about hiring a coach is do your research, do your due diligence. Now, John, what did you want to say about coaches, or did you already say it?
Yeah, no, I kind of joined the party here a little bit late, but I've hired 3 coaches in all of my 6 years doing this. First one was $600 and biggest scam ever. Like literally didn't even get on a Skype chat with the guy. He just had me sign up for like 5 or 6 different MLM style networks, and the coaching was to go and turn around and then sell those to more people. I hit up he did one of the secret Facebook groups and there were like 5 of us. So I hit up everyone else and 2 of the people, they were like so dedicated to him. They just thought it was like, they didn't realize they were getting ripped off. And one other guy was like, yeah, man, I feel ripped off. And I ended up having to do a chargeback on my card. And later came to find out he actually got hit pretty hard. Some people started talking bad about him on blog posts and found out he was doing it to a lot more people. I think he's still around. I don't know if he's still doing that kind of stuff, but that kind of put me off from it for years. And then I actually hired another guy who taught me how to do some stuff with Android apps, which was pretty cool. And that was legit. I just found myself not super interested in the method. And then I hired a coach for $2,500. So I put a good chunk of change in, and I took his advice and put it into action. And I went and closed the client for the same amount. So, it really kind of is coming back to the action and having the mindset, I think the biggest thing I got out of coaching was he got me out of that mindset of like that low price mentality kind of thing, just going for the low wage work. And that was what, helped me make my money back. So I think what I've found with coaching, I would say overall is that, I've had more luck teaming up with people, so like, I have a good relationship here with Stefan. So if I said here in a couple months, hey, Stefan, I have this awesome product idea, let's team up. I think I'd learn from his experience and he might learn from mine. And then you're kind of, working off each other, and you end up, learning a lot in the process. And you don't necessarily have to, you pay for it in your time, and I've found that to work out really well. Like what I just did here with Paul James, his product launch, like he did a lot of stuff that he was able to learn from me. And, it was a little surprising to me, I thought, with that angle, because I kind of look up to him. Like he's got a huge list, and, he was like learning stuff from me too, So that's something I've found to be pretty cool too when it comes to, just kind of learning from other people.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting you mentioned that whole, just curious, when you paid that $600 to that guy, what did he tell you he was giving you when he's just like, sign up to all these MLMs?
At the time I was pretty gullible, to this entire industry. I really didn't know. I was in it was an MLM style network at the time, and, I was just like, whatever. And I had taken a course of his, and, he was like a charmer on Facebook. He would really get people get them excited. So I said, okay, I trust this guy. I'd been following him for probably 6 months, and I'd been through his product. It was good. And I was like, you know what, this guy seems legit. And of course that wasn't the case. And I kind of knew I was getting ripped off, but I remember even signing up for some of this stuff and just thinking, man, what am I doing? But I kept thinking in my head, well, he's the coach. I better just listen to him, better do what he says. And I ended up with he had me sign up for these trials of teeth whitening and stuff. I had stuff coming to my door.
Right,
it was
just increasing his downline. You paid him to increase his downline.
Exactly.
Pretty funny.
It's about as bad as it gets. So.
But yeah, I mean, for example, this first coach I mentioned, I didn't even ask him what we were doing. I didn't even ask him. I was like, oh, cool, he's gonna help me. Let me give him $2K. But down the road, because I've had other coaches, and Steven helped me with email marketing. He was my coach there, and I knew what I was getting. I knew I was getting email marketing coaching. He gave me a friggin' curriculum before we started. He said, this is what we're going to be covering. I'm going to be critiquing your emails. I'm going to be doing this. I knew what I was getting, and he delivered on exactly what he told, because and that's what I think you really need to look for. If you can do that ahead of time, and you could say, okay, this guy's got a track record. He told me what he's going to be coaching me on, whether it's email coaching, launch coaching, CPA coaching, e-commerce coaching, if you know what you're getting ahead of time, I think that goes a long way into making sure that you're protecting yourself for, not losing your money there. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that's kind of important. You need to know what you're signing up for. It sounds so simple, but so many people just don't do that. I'm one of the people that didn't do that in the beginning either. So,
neither was I. I mean, I pay $600 to somebody or $500, and the next conversation, before I even got into the content, as soon as I made the payment, I was off to my wife to tell her that we're about to be fucking rich and we are ready to go. That's just what I did. I didn't get it. And then I'd go, and it'd be a few days before I opened it because I went and watched The Secret again, and I was feeling really good, so shit was going to happen, right? I didn't know, and it's kind of like a rite of passage. The more I talk to people, it's you got two choices when that happens. You can either fold up the fucking tent and leave, or you can, wow, you know what? I screwed that up. And the only way I did that was because I bought more books, and then I bought more products, and I kept learning, and I kept getting invested, yeah. And it's just, as much as, yes, there's shit out there, and it sucks, man, I would hate to be on the hook for $150,000 in college education when I think the worst I was in a hole for marketing at any one time was 10 to 15 grand. After that, I was able to make all of those coaching purchases pay off. But seriously, if the only amount you're out is $15,000, keep going because you still got another 75, 80 before you even line up to college, and there's no guarantee there. But again, it's all mindset, right? I was willing to grow past that failure and see it for myself. Not that guy should have done it, but if he never took my money, I never would have had the opportunity to grow past that situation. I put everything on me, always.
I mean, look, Bill, you kept going after that. I kept going after mine. If we had given up, where would we be today?
Exactly.
Yeah. I actually never hired a coach, so I don't know what you guys are talking about, rite of passage. I think it just takes,
it's like everyone has that, well, maybe not Steven, but most people have that kind of at least one horrible coaching, experience or burned experience. Everyone has at least kind of one, and you can choose to give up there. You can choose to say, that's it, I lost my money,
right.
What was me?
I think the key thing here is persistence, The reason I never hired a coach was because I was persistent that I was never going to, fail. Just like y'all were persistent that you weren't going to give up after you got burned by the coach, So persistence is kind of, the final answer. What do you?
We have a Facebook marketing group.
Yeah, I know, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're in
Well, I
it.
did because I'm in it, but I forgot because that was like June 9th, July.
Yeah, but
sometime.
we don't have anyone in it, so we just do it from our timeline so more people see it.
Right. Join that group, people.
Yeah, join the Marketing Hour Facebook group, and once that gets big enough, we'll just start doing the episodes there.
Yeah, I like that.
Did you guys have fun in Vegas, by the way? Good time?
Yep.
Oh man, we learned a lot. I had a blast, man. Real good time. Maybe you guys could make it next time. Let's see how much time we got left here. We just crossed an hour. Cool. Well, anything else you'd like to add, Bill? Stefan? Well, Bill first.
Well, I'll let the guest go first. Oh, I guess you're the closer, so I'll go. Bottom line is, if you got a shitty coach, carry on and move forward anyways. And the other thing is, if you are a coach and you're in this to help people, make sure that your prices reflect the time and effort that you plan on giving, because if not, you're doing everybody a disservice.
As well as yourself.
Besides that, I'm good.
All right, John?
I completely agree with Bill. I would say, just kind of adding on to what I said, try to connect with as many people as possible and, see who you can help out and see if they can help you out, do some joint venture type stuff. That's really worked really well for me to learn a lot.
Stefan?
Actually, there's one thing John said earlier I wanted to comment on that he made a lot of sense, is collaboration. I mean, when you trade knowledge for money, that's one thing. Trading knowledge for knowledge is another thing. And I've done that with a few people where I've said, hey, I've got this cool thing I'm doing, it's not even taught in the launch phase. I'll show it to you if you show me one of your cool things. And I've done that with a few people, and you grow so much that way. I mean, if you don't have any skill, you offer money, right? So that's two different ways you could go about that. But at the end of the day, Bill and John hit the nail on the head. You got to keep going and know what you're paying for. I mean, if you're just starting out and you don't have any knowledge and you need some guidance and you need a coach, just know what you're buying. You don't find some guy on the street. He's going to tell you, he's a doctor, and you don't just pay him. You're gonna do some research to make sure he's really a doctor, right? Does he have an office? Does he have a degree? Does he have whatever? Like I said, our qualifications are a little different here, but you could do a little research to make sure that you know what you're getting, you know what you're paying for, and you're not just handing people money. And if you did that the first time, that's fine. I've done it. Bill's apparently done it. A lot of other people did the same thing. John's apparently done it. Keep going. You learned your lesson, and now you know what to look for the next time. So I think that's once you get some knowledge, if you get some coaching knowledge, don't feel free to collaborate with other people. Trade knowledge for knowledge. That's also very powerful too. So I guess that's my closing statement.
Cool, guys. Well, if I had anything to say, because I always get to say things too, it's you should join the Marketing Hour Facebook group. You should be persistent, because that is the key message here. You should do your due diligence, and for the vendors and marketers that are watching, if you're thinking about coaching, seriously consider the value that you're providing, and then put a fair price tag on it that doesn't burn you out or hurt others in the industry as a whole. With that said, this has been another fun episode of the Marketing Hour. You can find us on iTunes, marketinghour.guru, and every Friday right here on my timeline at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We had to do it later today because of a scheduling mix-up, but generally they're at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, so we'll see you next week. One final note, we're also starting to take sponsors. So if you have a launch coming up and you would like us to mention your launch on the show, get in contact with Bill or I, and we will talk about it. It's very affordable. The money actually doesn't go to us. It goes to Facebook, and we're going to use that to grow the show even bigger. So with that said, I'll see you guys next week, and thanks for watching.
Later.
Peace.
See you later.